Rayman, easily one of the most popular video game icons of the late 90s and 2000s. Up there with the greats like Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man and Plock. Okay, maybe not Plock, but when you're widely regarded as a god, it's kinda hard to compete with that. But the other three, no doubt. He was so popular in fact that Rayman became the 21st highest selling game on the PS1, with 5 million of those sales coming from here in the UK. After classic after classic after classic, Rayman would unfortunately be diagnosed with a horrible case of the rabbids. They took over for a while, leaving the poor guy feeling weak and his powers had disappeared. But suddenly, from the brink of death, he bounced back better than ever with Rayman Origins, a stellar 2D platformer utilising the Ubisoft framework, giving the game a completely unique art and playstyle. After Origins, it seemed the only place that Rayman could go was up. Yeah, but if that's the case, what's this doing here? Well, while Rayman was enjoying his newfound glory, living life in the spotlight once again, something sinister was happening in the background. Something was plotting his demise. It was fucking Ubisoft. Oh yeah, that'd explain it. But before Ubisoft murdered our poor limbless hero and banished him to the App Store, they let him have one last hurrah, one final masterpiece. Rayman Bowling! Oh, and Rayman Legends too, I guess. This game is fan-fucking-tastic. From beginning to end, this game is full throttle, no bullshit, non-stop action. The story is very underplayed, which for a Ubisoft title is incredibly jarring. But you know what? Rayman Legends says bollocks to the story. All you need to know is that these guys are in danger, and these miserable gits are causing said danger. So what are you waiting for? Go kick some ass! Rayman Legends is all about its gameplay. Rather than stopping you every 10 seconds to shove some exposition down your throat, it tells its story through its gameplay and level themes, and it creates an incredibly fast and fluid game because of it. Rayman & Co. feel absolutely incredible to control. The movement is fast and fluid, tight and responsive, and exceedingly satisfying to play. It won't take you long until you're blazing through these levels like you've played them 1,000 times before. Every platform, every obstacle, every enemy, everything is calculated perfectly to maintain your momentum in an almost rhythmic fashion. I usually play this game with my finger firmly planted on the run button, never taking it off for a second, which is great as this game accommodates this playstyle, even if now I've got accelerated arthritis in my right index. While the movement feels great, your methods of taking out enemies, however, are rather limited. You've got your punches, your kicks, your ground pounds, sometimes you'll be granted a boxing glove to use as a projectile, and of course you can stamp on their stupid little heads, but they don't particularly do all too much aside from standing there menacingly waiting for you to give them a swift kick in the bollocks. My unit! However, for this game, it's really a non-issue. It's not a combat-focused game, so having enemies be ultra-aggressive and take multiple hits would only hinder this game's fast-paced nature. Especially when you consider Rayman is about as tough as milk in an old sock. Yeah, like Sonic and Plock, Rayman is quite the fragile little fuck. One hit and it's off to DeviantArt with you. However, you can take an extra hit by grabbing one of these hearts. Thankfully, like all modern platformers should do, Rayman Legends does away with lives and gives plenty of checkpoints, allowing for a crazy amount of experimentation with how you approach any given level.
Could be crazier.
If you mess up and die, don't bother cracking your controller over your knee, as you'll be back to where you were quicker than you can say bollocks. It allows the game to ramp up the difficulty without it becoming unfair to the player, but I wouldn't exactly call this game difficult. It's no walk in the park, but it never gets to the levels of bullshit that Rayman 1 did, thank God.
Haha, better look next time, idiot. Okay, this game, it sucks.
From the get-go, you should also notice this game looks frankly astounding. It's unreal how much life and atmosphere is crammed into these levels with the incredible lighting and animation. There's plenty of squash and stretch to everything, and a lot of exaggerated poses, giving everything that extra oomph. Nothing feels soft, and every attack has the way you'd expect it to. When Rayman twats some guy's head off, you fucking know about it. You know, I always thought Rayman's art style worked a lot better in 2D. I feel like it allows him and his world to be so much more expressive. There's also something about his models that just never sat right with me. Although his facial expression in Rayman 2 cracks me up, the wide-eyed stare he's always rocking constantly makes him look like he just walked in on his parents playing that weird naked wrestling game.
Rayman! Don't shoot on the light! Don't shoot on the light!
Yeah! It's incredibly fitting that the main hub is a gallery of sorts, as each level is like a playable painting. It's not terribly often when a game's concept art looks like it was taken from the finished product. Each and every level in this game feels so vividly unique in theming and aesthetic, all represented by a different legend, haha! Enchanted forests, castles in the sky, Mexico, secret underwater bases, and everybody's favourite, the underworld. Rayman goes to hell. In terms of world structure, Rayman Legends executes it flawlessly. The first couple of levels introduce you to the world's various gimmicks, and then builds upon them exponentially over the course of the rest of the world, with everything you've learned culminating in the final 3 levels: the chase, the fight, and the celebration. The chase incorporates everything you've learned and puts your platforming skills to the test. Then you'll fight the boss of the world. They're bigger, they're badder, they're alright. They've got a lot of style to them, I'll give them that, but they're not awfully hard to take down. Once you've defeated them, you'll then get to play the music level of the world. I call these the celebration, as that's exactly what they are. They're a celebration of the world you just saved. They play like a rhythm game, jumping and attacking to the beat of the music, and they're extremely satisfying to play through. Whoever thought these up should just be given Ubisoft, the whole company, because clearly this was the last good idea the company ever had. The game is constantly throwing new ideas at you. Just when you think the game has exhausted every idea it has, it pulls out 3 new creative twists on how to traverse its levels, and nothing outstays its welcome. In one level, you can be shrunk down to the size of an ant, allowing you to run in out a giant fruit and use giant vegetables and sausages as platforms, and in the next, you're turned into a fucking duck. And in another level, you're infiltrating an underwater base, lurking in the lurking in the shadows, doing some spy shit, and in the next, you're a fucking duck! And that's not even mentioning how the game handles its exploration and secrets. Oh yeah, you thought I forgot about those blue little bastards, didn't you? It's because I did. Rayman Legends really wants you to explore its levels to get the most out of them, which sounds like a conflict with the fast-paced nature of this game, but you'd be dead wrong. This game does an amazing job at prodding your curiosity by cleverly guiding you to where the little buggers are hidden by using subtle hints in the level design, hiding things behind foreground elements, and using sound cues. As soon as you hear, "Help me!" you immediately begin scanning your surroundings to see that little crack in the level structure that will lead you to your blue prize. And once found, you can carry on your merry way. And just as a side note, the enemies absolutely wreck these guys, snapping their backs and stamping on them. Makes you feel kind of bad for them. We were never here.
Agreed.
Rayman Legends does a fantastic job of telling its stories through its gameplay, and in my opinion, 20,000 Lumps Under the Sea does this the best with its engrossing atmosphere and wonderful James Bond-styled soundtrack. It could have just been another fucking water level, however with actually great water controls. Water, moment, water. However, with actually great water controls, stealth level design and genius premise, it's elevated to one of the biggest highlights in a sea of them. You begin the world on the mysterious inflatable island. It feels distinctly tranquil, with the only thing you can hear being the subtle ocean, seagulls in the distance, and this calming ukulele track. As soon as you bounce into the ocean, things start to feel a bit serendipity when all these fish begin singing this jazzy little number. You can spend some time here swimming with the fish, however you'll eventually notice this trail of lums heading towards the seabed, leading you to an opening. Delving deeper, the darker and murkier it becomes until this bass line kicks in, and you notice whatever the hell that is. I don't know what'll happen if I touch that green light, and I do not want to find out. Okay, yeah, I kinda do. So all in all, we went from a tranquil opening, a playful swim with some fish, to stealthing around in a secret underwater tunnel with electric sentry turrets. This game is a masterpiece! I love that it feels like you're uncovering some grand scheme, intriguing you to find out what these suspicious toads are up to. Suspicious toad? After uncovering and exploring an underwater mansion and several hidden bases, as well as being chased by a goddamn sea dragon, which you flush down a giant bog, the final encounter is genuinely quite eerie. I mean, look at this place. This bridge is really strange looking. What the f***? What the f***? Yeah, so turns out they were out here creating mecha dragons that can fly around and shoot lasers and shit. No biggie. To finish the world off, there's glue. Yes, Biggie, what the fuck? To finish the world off, there's glue. Admittedly, it's not my favourite music level, but I do love that it ends with you back at the inflatable island. It's a real neat touch showing you've come full circle. On the subject of music, holy hell, this game's soundtrack is pretty good actually. It's certainly not the greatest or memorable soundtrack I've ever heard. I'd argue it's more of a score than a soundtrack with how orchestral and grandiose it is, but it's got its fair share of earworms and bops. Ignoring the obvious music levels, Fiesta de los Muertos and 20,000 Lumps Under the Sea take the cake for me. Tracks will dynamically build throughout each stage. A stage could begin with the most serene track you've ever heard in your life, and by the end it'll fucking sound like... It adds a massive sense of progression instead of just being stage theming. Once you've saved every world, you'll unlock the Living Dead Party, containing the hardest levels in the game, the 8-bit addition to all the music levels, and a whole new one. Now, they're not actually 8-bit versions, as awesome as that would be. More so, they're the same levels, except now you have to do it in one try. Seems simple enough. They're also completely insane! It does look as if someone took the original version and added a couple of effects to them in Vegas. However, you'd be surprised at how much difficulty it does add. Now, I've played Techno Kitty Adventure before, so I'm used to this shit. Ah, bollocks. Fucking shit. What the fuck is going on? Look at this. How the hell am I supposed to know what I'm doing when my character's only 2 pixels on screen? And Granny's World Tour, yes, that is a real level name, is just pure evil. The developers absolutely knew how fun and rewarding it is to go fast in this game, so they included these invaded levels. If you enjoy time trials, you already love these stages. They're short versions of previous stages presented in a speedrun format. However, while I enjoy these, there's just a few too many of them, especially when the Shadow Rayman levels are introduced, which is the same concept just with an evil Rayman that mimics you, requiring that extra bit of planning as you don't want to be on that perfect run only for you to get murked by your stupid idiot past self. While I personally love them, I do understand why people wouldn't, so thankfully they're not required in order to proceed with the campaign. On the opposite end of the spectrum, there are not nearly enough rescue levels. As their namesake implies, you rescue one of the many princesses by beating the stage. The princesses essentially are all reskins of the same character. But, as this game has like a million different outfits for the 4 playable characters, it's a clever way of disguising that. The stages themselves allow the game to give you a new type of challenge that wouldn't necessarily want a full level built around them, though these bite-sized levels can be just as fun, if not more so than some of the main levels. My favourites being the Ninja Dojo courses and especially the scaling challenges. These tightly constructed vertical stages will test your reaction times and your wall running and jumping skills. And believe me when I say, these levels make you feel like a platforming god when you completely nail one of them, although you feel like an absolute bellend when you fuck it up in front of the last teensy. Though there's only 2 of each in the main game, if you dare decide to venture off to the dreaded left side of the screen in the main hub, you'll find the challenges painting, which... Oh. Yeah, because you play as a stupid bag of wank, guess I'll have to use the Switch version instead. Okay, online challenges. Oh look, Murphy's Touch. Not today, thank you. The online challenges use the same level structure as the rescue stages, and holy shit man, these are like crack, they're so damn addicting. It'll also make you realise 2 things. Firstly, just how good at the game you can be.
Oh, I am so good at this game.
And secondly, no matter how good you think you are, there's always going to be someone else from a foreign country who'll bring your ass straight back down to reality.
Oh, what? Oh, come on, that's got to be Diamond. Jano, how the hell did you nearly get 22 kilometers?
I think I'm going to go back to single player. But I've played all the Legends stages 1,000 times. I want something new. Something like Legends, but a bit more... original. Yeah. Well, thank God there's a big fuck-off painting here labelled Back to Origins, because within this game you can play over 40 levels from the previous game, so like, if you buy one Rayman game, you can get the previous one with remix levels and a complete art style overhaul completely free! Ubisoft! Are you feeling alright, mate?
Oh, no.
No, it's not the complete Rayman Origins experience, but it does come pretty damn close, and it's bloody commendable of Michel Ancel and his team to do this for us undeserving gamers. You know what else is commendable? Michel Ancel wanted to make the Ubisoft framework completely open source, allowing smaller developers to utilise it for their own work. In an interview from 2011, Michel says, "Ubisoft has been built to be shared. It won't be like other game technologies, which are often just locked away. I wanted to go out and be shared and evolved. Unfortunately, this did not happen, which sucks! It's especially sad because aside from Rayman Mini on the App Store, since 2015 it's exclusively been used for the fucking Just Dance series. This engine has so much untapped potential, and it's incredibly upsetting to think about what amazing titles could come from it. So if Ubisoft doesn't want to make a sequel to arguably 2 of the greatest 2D platformers of all time, let the fans do it. Like, could you imagine if they made a Rayman-style Mario Maker game using this framework?
That needs to be a game mode. I'm not gonna lie. I would love if that was a game mode. That would be so sick.
Or how great a Sonic game could be? Hell, even Plop could make great use of this framework. He'd be selling his soul to the devil, but have you seen Plop? He's a bloody god. He doesn't have a soul. So yeah, Rayman Legends, what a fan-fucking-tastic game. This game should be the gold standard for modern 2D platformers with its insane levels of creativity, flawless game flow, and the ungodly amount of content you get in such a neat little package. It absolutely deserves all the praise it gets. The only real complaint I can give is while Rayman does say, "Yeah!" he doesn't say, "Yeah!" I'm sorry guys, this game fucking sucks. If you haven't played it yet, you should absolutely go check it out. And if you have played it, you should absolutely go play it again. Now, for as I have sinned by playing a Rayman game, I have to go repent my sins to our almighty Lord and Saviour. Goodbye. Clock, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry for playing a Rayman game. It'll never happen again, I promise. Maybe.